Hey guys, welcome back to Just Carve Rob, part 2 of carving a girl with big feet. That's what we're carving. That's a buck knife. It's called the Buck Light. Buck Light. And I have redesigned it to turn it into a folding pocket carving knife. And it's working just grand. It's working a treat here. And then that's the other knife that I made from scratch. That's the one I changed into a carving knife. But we're working on the face of the nose. We're going to cut the nose in. So we drew the nose in and cut away from the lines. Cut away from your lines. Make sure that you're not angling your blade or your Dremel inward towards the nose. Otherwise, you'll undercut your nose. And we don't want to undercut the nose. Just my opinion. Remember, guys, everything is just my opinion, which probably isn't worth much. All right, so we're going to flip-flop around back and forth between knives. That's the OCC 2.5-inch knife. I usually use it for a rough-out knife. And we've gone into cutting the hair with the upswept justcarverob knife. Yep. Yeah, so we're starting to lay the hair out. We're cutting it down where we want it to be, folded back into the ponytail. And we'll just work that edge around. Nice thing about the upswept knife is you have that little bit of a radius there right before the tip. So you can do like a plunge cut almost with it. Stop cut. And push it down. Now we got to push the hair back so we can get up under the eyes. Ooh, there's the big buck knife. And we're chopping some of that hair off from there. Right now she's looking a little bit like Cousin It. But we got to get the hair pushed back so we can get in there and cut those where we're going to put the eyes in. We're going to do the cartoon type eyes where they're flat. So we're going to cut down from the top on a slight angle inward. But first we got to comb her hair back out of the way with a knife. And since I built this knife, I've been just monkeying around with it a little bit on everything. Okay, so you can see where we are now cutting the flats in for the eyes. And right above the nose, we cut in the eye shelf. The eye shelves. And we'll be cutting them back deeper and deeper. We want to push the eyes back. The eye shelves will actually turn into part of her cheeks. So we're cutting them down on about a 10-degree angle. See that right there? And then we'll cut the eyes themselves down. You don't need a really sharp angle for your eyes. Couple degrees towards the wood on that angle there. And we're just going to keep making those little shelves deeper as we go. Now you can see the eyes, and I just showed you that we're pushing them down. And of course, you can cut the hair back as much as you want and show a little bit of forehead if you would like. That's what I ended up doing, was just giving her a little forehead above the eyes. Or you could, if you don't want to even carve eyes, you can just bring the hair right down over the eyes, make your nose a little bit higher up and a little bit longer or bigger around, and just hide the eyes under her hair if you want to. But I'm giving her eyes. So we're doing those eye cuts right there. And we're getting back the hair pushed back so I can get up underneath there and carve the eyes in. And the nice thing about when you carve the eyes like that is you can actually see how big your eyes are going to be. Of course, the higher you go with the wood, the higher up you cut them back down, the bigger eyes you have. So you can put some really big eyes on her, or really small eyes, or you can put eyebrows in there, the whole 9 yards. I'm not going to put eyebrows, I don't think. You can see how the face is shaping up there. You can see I'm cutting back the cheeks, I'm cutting back the nose because we want the nose to stick out. And I'm working her head back so it's not overhanging her shoulder. And we'll just keep working this in here. Looks like there will be a part 3. There will be a part 3, unfortunately. Like I said, I hate to cut out the cuts. But I could make it, I could just show the highlight cuts instead of boring you guys to death with all these slow cuts, I guess you'd call them. And it looks like I kind of need to move my overhead rig so it, for the camera, so it points down on more of an angle towards the carving. Kind of hard to do with it's all made out of square tubing, so I'll have to find some round tubing that I can rotate and lock into place, just to give you guys a better angle on it. When I'm carving with a Dremel and the work is laying flat on the bench, this setup works well. But when you're carving with a knife, and if I hold it flat, I can't see what I'm carving. And that's how you get boo-boo fingers. Nobody likes slicing their fingers. So, yep, we're going to have to work on a different camera mount so you guys can see more. Then there was Seymour. Yep, Seymour. Seymour. Now we're putting the curve in the nose, making the nostril stick out a little bit there. And bringing the nose back. And we keep bringing them eye shelves. See, we're bringing the eyes in a little bit more. We're making those eye shelves stand out a little more. And we'll take that sharp edge off and roll it back into the eyes. And now we're doing that, we're cutting the hair back and the jaw back. And now we'll take a little bit off the shoulders and the front, under the chin. That's what we're doing there, is we're cutting down under the chin. Now you see the shoulder on Bigfoot, his head was actually even with his shoulder, and I didn't like it. I mean, it's okay for Bigfoot because he's got them big broad shoulders, but for her, we want to bring that shoulder down. Now remember, the shoulders are on the flat and the face is on the corner. So that also helped bringing her face back when we changed the angle from the 45-degree angle. Remember, I flattened it out a little bit. I went flatter with the cuts. And I'm rounding that bottom chin over. And we'll cut her hairdo back a little bit more. By the time we're done, you see that dot on top? That'll be gone. But the dot gives us a center point to bring the sides of the head and the hair and all that stuff together. So it's for me, it's important to keep the center lines in place. It just helps you keep things symmetrical. You know, you kind of want them to look the same on both sides, unless you're doing like a comic book character like Double Face, where he's got one side of his face that's all scarred up and the other side of his face is normal. Something like that. Like he could do a half skull face and half regular face or something. I don't know. I think it'd be pretty neat. Pretty neat. So what are you doing out there, Spike? You having fun? I've been working on boats. Putting boats together. Trying to get so I can go take you guys fishing. We'll go down on the Blue Lake and see if we can do some carving and fishing. And catch some pumpkin seeds and maybe some bass and that kind of stuff. The spring is almost over and the summer is coming and I still don't got my boat running. All right. So now we have got the micromotor with the saber tooth coarse burr. And the micromotor does not like this. This burr is a little bit grabby for the micromotor. But I think if I use it enough, I'll get the sharpness of those teeth wore down a little bit, and it will be okay. But right now, it's a little grabby in the micromotor, and it really don't like it. It doesn't like the extreme bits burrs either. I should have thought of that when all I could get was a 3/32 shaft. I should have just said, nope, don't get it, Just Carve Rob. Just go ahead and get yourself, see if you can find the, I think it's white, the white burrs. They're still spiky burrs, but they're a lot less aggressive. So I would have to throw a 3/32 collet in one of my Dremels to use this bit better, because the Dremel does have more torque than the micromotor. At least with the micromotor I have. I see Ben over there at Studio on the Lake has the Oz Elite, and Mike Stinnett over at Stinnett Sticks, he also uses the Oz Elite, but or I think his is the Oz Plus. But you don't see him using these, or at least I don't remember seeing him using the coarser burrs. And you can see there we're working on the butt, making the butt pop out, bringing her legs up and making the butt pop out. Now at this point in this carving, I still don't really have a coagulated plan, or it hasn't really all come together for me yet. I'm just kind of doing the flyby here and bringing things down and making them. So at this point, I didn't know if I was just going to do all hair and that kind of stuff. Now we're dividing the feet. But as I carve along, you got to have your coffee and stop and look at it and stop and look at it. It starts congealing. The idea starts solidifying in your mind of what you're after. That's probably why it takes me so long to carve something, because I really don't have I kind of got a rough plan of what I want to do when I start out, but I just let it flow into whatever it's going to be, right? Sometimes they come out okay, and sometimes they don't. And now we're cutting the crook of the arm in there, the back of the front of the elbow. And as you've seen, the arms are pretty big and manly, but as we move through here, we will chop them down. That's one nice thing about starting out, having your arms a little bit bigger, is you can always trim them down. If you start out too small, miscalculate the thickness of your burr or whatever, could cause you problems. So now we're cutting the hands in, doing a little upper body work there, getting that all shaped in. You can see this bit's getting a little grabby. Of course, I'm getting a little heavy-handed there too, so that doesn't help things. And now we're gonna remember, you gotta push it back on an angle, create a slope there from under the neck. You can see that's kind of what we're doing there. And rounding the arms over, getting it all kind of smoothed out there a little bit, getting a lot of the extra wood peeled off there, and working under that chin, under the hair, over the shoulder, all that good stuff. You can see if you go back to the beginning, you can see we have really peeled away, chunked off a lot of wood here. Undercutting the ponytail. Part of the arm is covered by the ponytail, so we can only put just a little crease in there to show the back of the arm, and we'll just work this around here, cutting the arm in a little bit deeper, cutting the upper part of the body down, making it a little thinner, getting up underneath that neck, or up underneath that chin. Now, the more you pull the top of the body down, the more you could show a little more neck. And then, of course, you'll have to move your arms down a little bit too, if you wanted to. Okay. So now we pulled the burr out. Now we have a ruby burr. A ruby burr. We're going to go back and smooth out some of the tool marks from the coarse saber-tooth burr. Work that back. It's another nice day today. They're forecasting rain here. So we'll have to see what happens there. It's going to be in the low 80s today with low humidity. So that's going to be great. Okay, so now we're cutting in that ponytail. We're cutting in the thing that holds the hair. I don't even know what you call it. Scrunchie, hair tie, something like that. And we're using that upswept 1 1/8 JustCarverob knife that I made. And I'm really enjoying this knife, in case you guys haven't noticed. If I didn't like the knife, it would be thrown to the side and I'd be back with my OCC knives. But you can see how smooth that knife is cutting there. You've seen the portable buck knife earlier. Yep. So we're coming to the end here, guys. So share, subscribe, like, leave a comment. I really enjoy reading your comments. They're awesome. I thank you for the support. Thanks for buying me a coffee this week. If you bought me a coffee this week, thanks for the support. I appreciate it. It's never expected, but always appreciated. Give a shout out to Sean Brooks over there at Pin on Fire. Go check out Sean Brooks if you want to. He's a new YouTube carver, wood burning guy. Go check him out. He's trying to get some subs. I think he's got 5 subs. He wants to get at least 10. So if you feel the urge to support him, go ahead. So share, subscribe, like, and we'll catch you guys on the next one. All right?